Hey, all right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harak HaKadash. Double honors to all the elders and apostles of GMS that taught me this truth. Peace and Shalom to my fellow Akim. This is a short video from Dana, how you say her name? Dana Almila Clamada, who brings out pretty good end time war prophecy videos, man. I watch her a lot. And she's going into Israel and the undoing of the Biden administration, or what they're undoing everything that Trump is. But we all know that Israel leads America from afar, man. Okay, and that they are joined in this thing together, which all the other nations will eventually end up turning on Israel and America, man. All right, because they dwell inside the Lord's land and are just defiling the land, man. All right, with the pink pride parade, kosher pork, whatnot, and all. Most importantly, they are not the Lord's chosen people, man. Okay, and that's been proven many times over again. They don't fit the prophecies, and so we're just gonna go get into a little bit of this video. I don't think I have like a few precepts pulled up, and the rest I'll be going through the spirit, man. So hopefully this lesson's edifying, man.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here, and for today's headlines, I'd like to start with Israel. Israel being God's prophetic time clock, I think it's important that we pay attention to what's happening in Israel as well in regard to Israel. And I'd like to take you to this first report in regards to the United States moving to rejoin the UN Rights Council. The report goes on to read that the decision reverses another Trump-era move away from multilateral organizations and agreements. The decision is likely to draw criticism from conservative lawmakers and many in the pro-Israel community. Trump pulled out of the world's body main human rights agency in 2018 due to its disappropriate focus on Israel, which has received by far the largest number of critical council resolutions against any other country, as well as the number of authoritarian countries among its members, and because it failed to meet an extensive list of reforms demanded by then U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. In addition to the Council's persistent focus on Israel, the Trump administration took issue with the body's membership, which currently includes China, Cuba, Russia, and Venezuela, all of which have been accused of human rights abuses. So this is indeed a very interesting decision from the Biden administration. And I guess the question is, will their focus continue to be on Israel?
Of course
and
it
will
will.
the United States, one of Israel's greatest ally, stand by her? I guess only time will tell. But it's not looking very promising for Israel right now. Take, for instance, this next report from Breitbart. On Friday's broadcast of NBC All In, a California Democrat stated that Biden will radically reset relations with Israel, and Israel will have to recognize Palestinian statehood. He also said that they can't be having new settlements, and that they can't be burning down Palestinian villages. Human rights, he says, are going to matter. We're going to have a human rights focused foreign policy. Now, personally, I wasn't aware that Israel was burning down any Palestinian villages, and in fact, later on, he took back that comment. But they're basically going to pressure Israel into accepting a Palestinian state, which would mean, in the long haul, a two-state solution. Now, with that said, the Epoch Times is reporting that Senator Bill Hagerty sent a letter to Joe Biden on February 6th, urging him to confirm that his administration will keep the U.S. Embassy in Israel's capital of Jerusalem. Now, his letter comes as White House Press Secretary on February 5th failed to confirm whether the administration intends to maintain the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem or to move.
See, why is there a U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, man? But it's all good, man. We know and we understand what's going on in the times that we are in, man. This is Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And the modern day Philistines are these Palestinians, man. Right? they've came in and parted the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah's land, man. All right, which is Jerusalem. Okay, the motherland. All right, and the bastard is dwelling there, man, which is Esau Edom, and that started as a chief city, was a chief city of the Jerusalem region, man. All right, and so they've been there for all these years, proclaiming to be the Lord's chosen people, man. All right, let's see what we got here. I think it's Luke 21. Look, man, sorry, Salakia, Luke 21 and 24. KJV. This is Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And the time of the Gentiles are being fulfilled, man. All right, you've been in our land for thousands of years. Okay, you've painted over the Lord Yahweh Shai's image. All right, changed his name, degraded his people, and ran your empire off rape, robbery, murder, and wickedness, man. Okay, and the Lord is upset with you. And the last puzzle piece to the Lord's game is Israel, man, his the homeland. All right, the third temple is being built. All right, the third spiritual temple is being built with the 144,000, man, the elect, and the 1/3, man. Okay, and the time of the Gentiles is coming, man. Matter of fact, let's get that in Obadiah. Let me see here. Yeah, this is Obadiah 15, verse 15. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. And that's what's going to happen, man. All right, y'all going to slavery because you took our land. All right, you heathen nations. Okay, Syrians. Okay, and Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians. Okay, and what was the other? I can't remember the other guy's name that came and took the northern kingdom, man. Shalmaneser and all those, but chiefly you Edomites, man. All right, are going into captivity and have to pay for what you've done. So let's get back into this video.
Moved the main office back to Tel Aviv. She informed reporters that she would confer with the national security team before answering the question. Now, in 2018, President Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, fulfilling a promise he made during his 2016 campaign, whereas Presidents Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Barack Obama had been using a waiver to suspend the relocation at 6-month intervals, which was also allowed under law. But Trump actually followed through with it. Now, Haggerty also wrote in his letter that it's important to note that our relocation of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem set the stage for the Abraham Accords, a wave of landmark U.S.-led peace agreements across the region. And lastly, he said that I applaud these accords and hope that your administration will sustain and expand them. Doing so will require that you be clear that you will keep the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Now, right after...
Again, man, they have no business being over there. Let me see. Let me look up a scripture real quick. See if I can find. Yeah, Proverbs 22 and 8. Remove not thy ancient landmark, which thy fathers have set. And that's what these people have done. All right, they've chipped the noses off the statues. Iconoclasm with painting over the images. Lied, changed the times. All right, going in, making different versions of the scriptures, adding and taking away of the scriptures, man. All right. And so you have an American embassy in the heart of the Jerusalem of Yahweh Shem Shai's land, man, showing you that America and Israel are deeply rooted and deeply connected, man. But again, the people who have been paying attention understand and know that this is not the true inhabitants of the land, man. These are not the real people, okay, of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai's people. All right, this is Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And that's what they have done. And ultimately, this is what this whole war, World War III, is gearing up and getting ready for, man. For the battle of Jehoshaphat, man. Salakia, y'all. It's been a long day, long few days. All right, this what this battle is for, man. All right, Yahweh's judgment, man. All right, so we'll finish this rest of this little video.
After Biden being inaugurated, it was rumored that he will keep the capital in Jerusalem. But it seems like right now they're having a change of heart. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. But let's move on and talk about Israel and Iran. It has been reported that international inspectors from the United Nations have reportedly found new evidence of nuclear activity in Iran that the nation has not reported. And apparently it's in violation of its international obligations, and that could be indicative of work on making nuclear weapons. The UN International's Atomic Energy Agency discovered the new evidence of undeclared nuclear activity at 2 sites during inspections last fall. The Wall Street Journal reported that according to multiple diplomats briefed on the situation, the 2 samples contain traces of radioactive material that they believe could indicate that Iran has undertaken work on nuclear weapons. Now, in response to that, this has prompted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to hold talks with security and army officials to discuss preparations for a possible attack on Iran. An Israeli news channel reported that Mr. Netanyahu met with Defense Minister Benny Gantz and Chief of Staff and officials in the Ministries of Defense and Finance to discuss the possibility of transferring funds to finance operational plans against Iran. Now, this also comes as the new U.S. Secretary of State, Blinken, warned that Iran could be weeks away from building a nuclear weapon. Now, in another
And again, going back into Joel, the book of Joel, it speaks of these nations, all right, beating their pruning hooks into spears and swords, man, all right, or gathering for war, okay. And this is Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and of pestilence, man. All right. And that's getting ready to come. That's actually not even the scripture that I wanted, but it's all good, man. But yeah, the nations are building, man. Okay, the nations are building because they are not America and Israel are not going to be the only ones that have nukes, man, and they want to police everyone and stop them from having nukes. Actually, the scripture that I want is Isaiah 9:6. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning of fuel and fire. And that's what's getting ready to happen, man. World War III will be fought with nuclear missiles. All the other nations are gathering. Iran still gathering enrichment that they apparently are not reporting, and Israel has been targeting them since then. And America has many bases surrounded Iran. So Iran and Israel is the final puzzle piece, man. All right. So yeah, that was just a quick quick World War update, man. Hopefully this lesson is edifying, man. Shalom.